Hi everyone, this is Kyle with kayDbait. It turns out that anti-science is kind of a big deal to some people, and I got hit with a really left field kind of comment string in my last video about that, and it turned into, well, this is anti-science and this is what I think about it because I think it's funny. Turned into a really serious, kind of argument about Einstein's theory of relativity with what's his name, Lorentz, and his transformation sequence. It got really technical and really confusing because I am not a scientist in any way. Even political science is kind of a cloud floating over there for me. But I do think that his I forgot to see who it was. Time is absolute. He was the one, or she, or whoever it is, was the one that brought this to my attention, and for the most part his argument was pretty much, it's been disproven within the argument itself, saying Einstein's theory of relativity, when put through certain calculations, contradicts itself by saying one thing is actually two things. 1 plus 1 cannot equal 3, but it's also saying 1 cannot equal 2, period. And, well, yes, 1 cannot equal 2 in the realms of normal physics. I was trying to explain that it was two calculations, two different theories, two different things. And I may be wrong. I have no idea what any of this stuff is, but it looked like he was explaining two different things. One of them being orientation of apparatus and the other being velocity of apparatus. One being in relation to another, where one being completely isolated. So that was my argument, was that it's actually two different things. And he kept saying, no, I'm wrong, I need to understand what he's saying, it's actually, wrong. And I was getting a little annoyed that he wasn't explaining it. It's obvious I do not know the subject matter as well as he does, or she, whoever it is. So it was on him to explain to me, because I was the one inquiring and he was the one trying to explain, but instead of explaining he just would repeat himself, and I kept looking it up more and more, and I kept finding more evidence against him or her. So I'm just going to refer to him as a him from now on. But I kept finding more and more evidence, or at least explanation, that went against what he said. And then he just called it a pretty much conspiracy theory level, not a cover-up, but like just this mistake that all of humanity has done for the past 100 years, and Einstein is the perpetrator and has to be completely removed from science completely because it's destroying science, and all of this very strong wording. He used a lot of strong wording that was really bothering me because it showed his bias, his hate towards Einstein. And if Einstein's wrong, then yeah, you should probably remove it from the books, but you have to study it. I mean, it's 100 years old. It has a foundation. That doesn't make it right, but it means you have to give more than just one argument. You have to give an explanation. And yes, he gave an explanation, but I could not understand it, and he was making the argument to me. So I kept trying to tell him, I do not understand. And if I do not understand, most people that you're talking to will not understand. Not because I'm smarter than everybody, but because I'm probably on the same level intellectually in this field that most of the people you're going to be talking to are going to see. They're going to, huh? Time dilation? Orientation of apparatus? Independent of velocity of apparatus? What are those? The heck kind of accent was that? Oh well. It's just, I did not understand it, and he was not explaining it. He was not describing the things in a way that I would be able to understand, and therefore other people would not be able to understand. And he was kind of getting annoyed. I mean, he wasn't getting as annoyed as annoyed as I was, because I felt he was repeating himself over and over and over again, which might not be the case. Maybe I just don't understand the wording he's using, and my eyes are glazing over, and I'm just not hearing him. But if that's the case also, he's acting like a really bad professor that's saying, do your own homework, do your own do the homework, do the work. I'm not going to tell you the answer. And he kind of is telling me the answer, but he's not explaining how he got it. He showed the video, he linked me to the video, and I watched the video several times, and I'm like, I do not understand where he's getting this. I'm watching the video, And I can understand that if his conclusion is correct, then yes, there's a problem. But I cannot understand how he's getting this conclusion. I can't. And I am not a scientist. I am not a person that understands this field. I am not a mathematician. I am not a physicist. I am not Einstein. I am not any of this stuff. And I just cannot grasp what he's trying to explain. So, there's actually this funny quote that I'm pretty sure Einstein said. It might not have been Einstein. It might just be somebody stapling his name onto it. If you cannot explain something simply, then you do not know it enough. You do not know the subject enough. So maybe he does know a lot, but he's just bad at explaining it. But I think he knows this one thing, and he feels it's true, so he learned a lot about it, but he doesn't know enough about the other stuff to explain it in layman's terms. And, you know, it's not bad. I mean, I know a lot of stuff that I can't explain because, you know, I'm really bad at explaining things sometimes. But overall, you should be able to at least see where they're coming from and be able to change what you're saying a little bit. Not the meaning of it, but change the way you're saying it to fit it in so they can see it, so that they can say, okay, now, oh, that's what it, I was looking at it the wrong way. So you have to do that. That's important. And I feel that he's not doing that, and it's just really confusing. But here, let me do this thing. Okay, Michelson-Morley experiment, the Kennedy-Thorndike experiment, and Ives-Stilwell experiment. Ives-Stilwell did time dilation, proving time dilation. Kennedy-Thorndike did the independent of velocity, and Michelson-Morley did the experiment of orientation of apparatus. Now, it's said that all three of those things have been proven with more and more accuracy over the years, one of them not being very recent, but the other two, yes. So I was trying to say, well, I've found evidence against it not being proven. So what are you saying? If I'm finding evidence against what you're saying, please give me evidence for what you're saying. And he never did. He just said, oh, it's too hard. I can't type in the formulas because the formulas are in a format that YouTube does not like, because YouTube does not like things. And that's fine, but, you know, email me, send me a note somewhere else. I want to learn this because I'm trying to discuss it with you, but all I see is there's two different formulas. That's what I see. I see it as two different formulas, but it could just be that time dilation and physics and quantum and all this random stuff that makes it so it's possible. I don't know. Once you get into quantum physics, I'm not going to know what's true anymore because math goes out the window. Strong force, weak force, what keeps the sun from killing us all, why isn't the earth, you know, dead? I mean, there's lots of weird stuff that goes on that I don't understand, and I'm probably never going to understand, but I try. And he's not explaining why this thing doesn't work. Or why it's relevant to what we were talking about before. So I'm going to post this because I told him I would post my response. You did a good job, but I just feel you weren't explaining it very well, because I have no idea what you're talking about. You know that. You know that I am not in your field. So please explain it in a way that not only me, but other people can understand, so that, you know, they'll be able to understand. That's your whole point of trying to explain it, is to get people to understand why they need to do this. So anyway, I'm going to finish this. Take care. Peace.